edit it down. I'm sorry, but you're an editor. You know how to edit things.
I, in fact, do know how to edit things.
Yeah.
And then he draws blanks.
And then
he puts me on the spot.
Silence.
He puts me on the spot.
Hey, don't you talk back to me. How dare you?
Editor monkey, you just do your job.
You just put together your little videos.
Yeah, that's good shit. That's funny.
But orcs.
But orcs.
Mm-hmm. But orcs.
Yeah. We're going to get into it here.
Yes.
In the part 2 of the overview. We're going to start off with the cultures.
And welcome back to Scryer's Room. I am your host, Famfare.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mario.
And yeah, today we're going to be talking about Orks, part 2.
Yeah, we did part 1 last time, and that I learned a great deal about what makes an orc an orc. The life cycle of them. They grow out of holes in the ground, pretty close to that very unnecessary scene from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. It is pretty extreme.
But they instead of coming out of it as what is probably like a New Zealand stunt extra, they come out as the largest boys of them all.
With his head in his chest.
Head sticking right out of his chest.
Right out of his
like
chest.
a rock'em sock'em robot.
Excellent.
Yeah, that they do. So, the Orc Society is... We already touched on it a little bit. Talked about their economy. And,
of teeth.
Yeah. But there are the 6 main clans, which is basically like an orc's ethnicity.
Right.
Like, they actually have slightly different, like, genetic traits. Why that is, I have an argument for that, but not really important. They just do.
And is that involved with the beast? I remember there being some sort of relation with the beast. You're going to get into that probably?
It's implied.
Okay, it's implied. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. GW loves this whole, like, unreliable narrator / ambiguity / implied this, implied that. Could it be the case? Like, one guy in a book will say something like that, and so now it's in the ether and people can extrapolate and expound upon it and reference other things. They love this shit, those sons of bitches. I eat it up.
World building of the could it have been aliens guy.
Yeah. Aliens. Just put your hands out with your crazy ass hair. Aliens.
They're usually there's other clans, but they're like
there's 6 big ones.
That's so you can make up your own. Whatever.
Yeah.
But there's the 6 main ones, and then there's sort of a 7th, but not really. And so the clan is like your like ethnicity, your like ethnic heritage. But then there's also tribes,
right?
Which is like groups of orcs. So it's like not everyone is in the same clan and like can be part of the same tribe,
right?
And then from there, it's like you get to like war bands and stuff, like whole ass like armies.
So like a bunch of snake bites could join up with these goths, and that'll be like a tribal thing.
Yes, and then but the clans do have like rivalries and like opinions about one another.
Of course they do.
It's basically orc like racism, as close as they can get.
Classic in a fantasy genre. That's how it goes.
The phrase that I've known about orcs has been the Gork and Mork, brutally cunning and cunningly brutal, and that is exactly what I think of. Like, these boys are brutal in their cunning, not like us, not like good orcs who are cunning in our brutality.
Mm-hmm. And I'll get into that too. I haven't talked about their religion yet.
That's counts as religion. Okay.
But so they have the 6 clans. Which are the Goths, Evil Sons, Blood Axes, Death Skulls, Bad Moods, and Snake Bites. And then that 7th group I mentioned, which isn't actually a clan, but it's its own group, and you can like treat it as a clan. And those are freebooters, who are
that makes sense. They wouldn't count as
these are orc pirates, and they're
these are miscellaneous.
They're my favorite.
Yeah, they're the orcs that either survived getting like their clan or tribe getting destroyed, or they just got kicked out because they sucked. Sometimes like
a bunch of Kugels.
Yeah.
A bunch of Kugels.
Well, sometimes it can be an orc is like getting a little too much like influence, and the war boss like starts like eyeing him up.
Ostracizes him.
Or
Yeah.
it can be, or like, you
Exiles
know,
his ass to Napoleon's Death Island.
Yeah.
or it could be like you're a pain boy or something, and you're just like out of control, and then they'll just kick you out. Like, you can't be cutting up people that bad. So I'll go through each of the main tribes. So the Goths are
And that's Goths or Goths?
Goth.
Yeah, Goff.
Is it supposed to be Goth, but that's how they say Goth?
I like to think so.
Like, it's supposed to be a reference to that, at least, right?
I like
the
to think
Visigoths.
so. I think their colors are black, so
So
Black
did-
and white.
the Goths.
The checker pattern.
yeah, the toughest.
And so yeah, Goths are probably what you think of when you think of an orc in 40k.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just the
Big and mean.
the big bad brutes, and then because they just tend to be larger than other orcs, like, so they're just bigger, stronger, and then on average like meaner.
Right.
That's their heretic, like their genetic trait from their
Big
clan.
and mean. Big and mean. Big, mean, and green.
And they prefer just simplest combat. Just you shoot your gun until you can get in there and start using your actual weapon.
Right.
Yeah, the proper weapon is a chopper.
Yeah. So
the gun is to make noise and to fill in time.
Goths are like most of them tend to just be like a boy, like your standard soldier, until they move their way up into like being a knob and stuff like that.
Quick addendum: it is not just a proper weapon. Can also be a basha or some sort of buzzblade. It doesn't
Maybe
just have to be
melee, yeah.
any sort of melee thing where you're really getting in there and really looking your opponent in the eye.
Right.
That is a proper weapon to a Goth.
The gun's to keep you busy while you're on your way to them with
Yeah,
your
it's to
melee
fill in the
weapon.
void in your heart that you're not chopping them or bashing them or bit buzzsawing them. Or maybe you have like a blowtorch, but it's like a to a little like candle like wick, so you use it to like cut people. That's what the Burna Boys do. He's gonna get to that. I'm sorry, I'm excited. I love Orks.
Oh,
You're
my
good.
goodness.
And yeah, the other thing about them is they tend to have a lot of storm boys.
Oh hell yeah, my
Storm
favorite.
Boys?
Storm boys are the orc shock troop. They just strap like air quotes jetpacks. It's really usually just like a big rocket, like a Wile E. Coyote.
Like a big red cylinder rocket.
like literally. And they're the deep strike boys. Like they get in there, and then like I'll touch on them later. But yeah, Goths tend to have the most of those. Then there's evil sons. And so there's another thing in orc culture. They have like little subgroups, sort of. One of them is the speed freaks.
Yeah.
So if you're a speed freak, that means you're obsessed with just going fast. Like it's literally like
They have their own
you gotta go fast,
subcultures,
like
yeah.
dealy, and then yeah.
Has anyone made a speed racer orc? Speed freak?
I'm sure.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sure.
The Mork 5?
And I bring that up because the evil sons, on average, are obsessed with speed. And so most of the speed freaks are evil sons. You don't have to be an evil son to be a speed freak, but most speed freaks are from the evil sons because they all love to go fast. Even if they're not like a dedicated driver of a vehicle or something, like they just enjoy the sensation of like going really, like it gets them high. Like that's like a whole scene in one of the stories where
Orcs are the only ones having a good time.
yeah,
One of the only ones having a good time in 40K.
so it's an evil son's mech boy, and they're driving his buggy because they're getting invaded by humans, and they're just like, oh fuck yeah, and then they're going to the fight, and then it's just like, oh, we should go faster, and then he's just like, hit the big red button, and then they hit the bin. It's the fucking scene from like Men in Black. And they just like zoom so fast, their like face is like being plastered, and then when they stop, their like pupils are dilated like all the way, and they're just like, yeah, they're just in a stupor because they love
this.
That's how much they love going fast. And yeah, so also because of that, they tend to be nomadic. They don't stay put.
Right.
That makes sense.
It's
Right, because you drive fast enough and you end up far away.
they're just Mad Max.
So
they're ethnically Mad Maxing.
So yeah, like take an orc, everything I've described as an orc, and give him like the worst case of ADHD ever, and then that's every single evil son. Like they're constantly.
They sound like the worst.
Yeah.
They sound like no wonder they're called the evil sons. They sound like the worst.
And that's how that's how they fight too. They don't enjoy stopping. So their strategy usually is charge, so you can turn around, charge again, turn around. and that's
That rules so
that's
hard.
their standard tactic, and then it's just they try to be as devastating every time, like it's just like going real fast.
It's drive-bys. It's only drive-bys. We keep doing drive-bys until it's over.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It's
The
really
modern
good.
Mongols.
Evil Sons are very funny. They're, to give you an idea, if you're familiar with 40K and Space Marines, they are comparable to White Scars,
Yeah.
who are the fast boys. That's their whole thing. They're the biker boys.
I love this.
And then Ork bikers can compete with them on equal footing. Anyway, so that was the Evil Sons.
I'm making in my head right now an orc that drives the Mork 5. That is made out of like two like White Scar motorcycles that he is like lashed together into a car shape. Like that, instead of wheels on this, like he just has the motorcycles. And that's the Mork 5.
That's awesome.
I mean,
That's super awesome.
I won't get into it, but there's a car that they make that's just a crashed fighter jet.
That rules!
They just
Yeah.
they just
I
take
love
the
them.
wings off, and
I love them.
they just use the
What
rocket
kind of
boosters.
wacky racist
Yeah.
kind of logic? I
It's
love
great.
the orc.
There's a game called Speed Freaks
Mm-hmm.
where you're just a speed freak and you get crazy cars and you race and like do like missions and stuff. It looks like a very excellent fun.
It's
time.
like Crash Team Racing, but you're orcs.
There you go.
Anyway, Blood Axes. So the Blood Axes.
We mentioned them before. They're like the commando boys, right?
Yeah, so they tend to have the most commandos, which are just orc, like infiltrator, spy, assassin unit.
Rambos.
Yeah. Which many in the Imperium don't believe to be real because your average orc won't do that.
Right.
But Blood Axes are...
You expect me to believe that it hides?
Yeah.
Look at it. It's 4 feet wide.
Yeah, we talked about that last time. Tony brought it up. There's a story about a guy saying that's like, they ambushed us. They came out of nowhere, and then he gets executed.
Yeah.
Poor guy, man. He was just trying to warn him. I know Blood Axes are also known as being mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
They're the most likely to be like, hey, Imperium, do you have guns? If you have guns, we'll do things for you.
So, that's because the Blood Axes, they actually try to employ strategy, and
Right.
they mimic the tactics of the Imperium. And then, so, Blood Axes, you could think of it, you could kind of describe them as like Imperial fanboys, almost. Not quite that bad, but it's like, they mimic how like...
They see the value in strategy, and that's who they're going to... That's who has comparable things.
Yeah, and they like to dress up in like little like officer suits they've made themselves. And then
Really?
They'll shine like little pieces of metal to
Like
hang,
bottle caps
to hang on
and
it as like a badge.
The lid of a tin
Yeah.
can.
And then they love using like military jargon that they've overheard from the Imperium. Then they like fuck it up because of course.
Yeah,
Right.
of course. I love this.
They're 10 clicks away, Sergeant. And he's like, 10 clicks.
And,
It's
Oh, no!
and so yeah, and then because of this, like they're willing to be sneaky gits. Like they'll actually stab you in the back, and because of their fascination with the Imperium, they're willing to work with them,
yeah.
which do at own risk
Yeah.
because they're still fucking orcs.
Yeah.
And they will betray you at the drop of a hat if someone's like, someone just makes them a better offer, there's a good chance they'll just be like, yeah, okay, and then just turn on you like instantly.
The Yumis gave us 50 crates of guns in order to run this mission. And then he's like, well, what about if I give you 51 crates of guns? More than enough, sir. Then they just immediately turn back on the Imperium, just start opening fire.
Yeah,
There's a little snippet where basically that happens. Like this Blood Axe War boss goes to a plan and is like, yeah, I need you to double the shipment of choppas and shooters I told you to give me so I wouldn't blow your planet up, basically. And they're like, but we literally can't do that. Like, that's not possible. Oh, well then I'll take these ones, and now I'm just going to shoot you with them anyway. And it's like, wait, isn't that fucked up? Once again, Twilight Zone moment. Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Orcs, Blood Axes.
41st millennium.
Fun times.
Ooh.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Down the wrong pipe.
This is the last episode with Mario. He's dying.
excuse me.
He's got tuberculosis
No.
like this is the 20s.
Oh, no.
Oh man,
Give
sorry.
him a TV tab.
Anyway, So because of all that, their willingness to use tactics and like hide and all that kind of shit, other orcs think they're like cowards basically,
Right.
or that like you can't trust an orc anyway. But an orc will be like, can't trust a blood axe. Like, you never know when he's gonna like stab you in the back. So they're known for that. There's a lot of like prejudice against them among other orcs.
I'm imagining like an orc speed freak that is like locked in like a Hannibal Lecter cage that they go to like get advice about orc stuff too, and they're like, well, about these blood axes, and he's like, I'm a speed freak. You know how I like. By the way, he's strapped down into like a race car seat. That's instead of like the Hannibal Lecter being strapped to like a board, he's strapped into a race car seat. And he's like, even Wheeze knows you can't trust the blood axes. Too sneaky.
Yeah, pretty much all the other orcs just think the evil sons are annoying.
I mean,
I can see that.
They probably kind of are, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like the guy. Yeah, there's a South Park bit about these guys.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't matter what time of day. Like if nothing's going on, they're over there like doing donuts and shit. And
yeah, it's like
just
fucking people trying to sleep
like
and
racing
shit in
each
society,
other,
and they're just fucking doing wheelies and donuts and shit like assholes.
Yeah, evil sons are fun, but yeah, the other orcs tend to think they're just kind of annoying. Then the next one is Death Skulls, who are the thieves, basically. They're the best at looting.
Okay.
So We're the best at looting. We knows that the Yumis sometimes put things into books besides words, and they like open up like a big intricate tome, and like out comes like a bolter gun that was hidden in like the hollowed out book, and he's like, "See, only we's know that." And then he just immediately starts shooting with it.
Yeah, so they after like a big, fight or a war or whatever, like they descend on like the remains of the battlefield like fucking vultures, and they just take everything
that they can make use
if
of.
it's like shiny, or if it even can have like a speck of value or anything, or if like you see someone else looking through all the stuff isn't looking at his shit that he's got piled up, you can go take his shit too.
Oh, definitely
like
take his shit.
Under the rules of stealing.
And yeah, so they're kind of like a blood axes. Other orcs don't trust Death Skulls very much because of they're known.
Steely.
Yeah, like, but they're kind of like necessary just because of how good at it they are.
Right. Their technology is almost entirely based off of like scavenged equipment. So the guys who are best at scavenging are pretty necessary.
Yeah, so they're really good at that, and it's like they take anything and everything to get it like for reuse or to trade it, whatever. They are also they strongly believe in the color blue is lucky.
Yeah, we talked about
the whole thing,
that, yeah.
But they in particular, that's their clan color. I didn't mention it. Evil Sons obviously red.
Yeah,
because red ones go faster.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Evil Sons color. Then the Death Skulls. One of the things they're really good at too is looting vehicles. Because orcs will do this anyway, but they will steal the vehicles of other races and then like modify them and then just drive them right back into a fight. Like, so something they love to do just because they're dicks is like take an enemy army's vehicle, like make it orky, and then fight that same enemy with that vehicle just to be assholes.
Yeah,
just be like, look what we did.
Yeah, I love this.
You can't stop us.
There used to be rules for a looted tank, and you could literally just do that. You could there was like
you used to be able to loot anything.
Yeah, in a White Dwarf settlement, you could loot any tank, and then you could like basically take a vehicle and make it an orc one.
Oh man!
And so that's why where all the memes of like a looted Carnifex came from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like a hollowed out fucking bug monster with an orc riding it because they looted him.
Yeah, or a
perfectly good chassis right there.
Or a looted what is the Necron thing?
Monolith?
Yeah,
there you go.
Looted monolith.
Yeah, it's like a big pyramid looking thing.
Yeah, this like prison of a star god. Like, yeah, we stole it.
Oh, the Tesseract Vault? Yeah, the Tesseract Vault. Yeah, looted a Tesseract Vault? That's even crazier.
Drives it faster! I imagine it hovers very slowly.
Yeah.
But like it's immense. So it's truly going very fast.
I love it.
And so Death Skulls are also known, they usually have like a lot of mechs. Like, so engineers and stuff, like they tend to have a lot of those because they're so good at looting everything.
Right.
They have the most scrap to work with.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Which is what
So all the
or
guys who
sneak their
actually want
technology
to...
out of.
Yeah.
Then there's the Bad Moons, who
My personal favorite.
they're basically. I wrote this joke. I don't know how exactly accurate it is. They're basically like trust fund babies because
The trust fund orcs?
because they're the richest because their teeth actually grow faster than other orcs.
That's funny.
So that's like one of their genetic traits is just like their teeth just fall out more often, and so they just have more money than all the other orcs.
But it also means the other orcs know to be mugging them more often because they're good
Yeah.
for it. They know
They're good for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're good for it. Yeah.
Yeah, but then the trade-off for that is because they have so much money, they usually also have some of the best gear.
Oh, yeah.
So if you come at them, they're just...
Come at the queen, you better not miss,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Like...
Yeah, and then they really like lean into it too. Like they love just being rich assholes. Like to the point where they have no use for it, but they love gold
Right.
because it looks really shiny and cool.
And everyone else seems to really want it.
Yeah.
I remember reading a thing where they would take gold specifically so other races couldn't have it.
Yeah.
Just to be like, we have this bling, it's not yours, deal with it.
Yeah, they love showing off. They'll have
It's so petty. It's
they'll
so
have like
dumb.
like gold plated teeth, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Real pieces of shit.
And yeah, so it's like other orcs know that they love gold, so they'll trade them gold for teeth because they have
Right, because it's
Yeah,
not...
'cause
The
they're
gold
good for
isn't
it.
money for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Because other orcs are just like, I don't know why the fuck they want it,
Yeah.
but whatever.
It's not hard enough to be a weapon. It's not good at anything in particular. All these other races seem to really like it, but, you know, sure, whatever. Give me money for this valueless scrap as he's handing him, like the Holy Grail style golden chalice. And he's like, this piece of garbage, fitty teeth.
Yeah, so they, for that reason, and because they just have more teeth, they're the closest thing orcs have to like a merchant class.
I could see that.
So they facilitate a lot of trade between
Right.
other orcs. But besides that, they just love being flashy assholes. Many flash gits tend to be from the Bad Moons. I'll talk about flash gits later, but most of them tend to be Bad Moons.
My favorites.
And Bad Moons are the best at shooting, which isn't saying much when it comes to orcs.
Yeah.
I was under the impression they're more of a spray and pray style of species.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
They
they
have the-
sometimes aim.
They have the most ludas, which is like sort of a flash git, but not really.
They make big guns out of the scrap.
They have
find.
a giant ass gun, basically. It spits a lot of bullets. they're like the best like shooters the orcs have, which they're still not that great. And then, so after the Bad Moons, we have snake bites, and snake bites are like
We was the first clan to find out about snakes.
So they're like traditionalists. So it's not that they don't have any technology. It's just that they prefer not to use technology if they don't have to. So they favor like more crudely fashioned like hand-to-hand weapons. Excuse me.
Like, rather than a chain sword, they would actually be like, no, just use a piece of metal that's in the shape of an axe.
Yeah, or like a spear or something or whatever.
Very unga bunga.
They don't like to wear metal armor. They'll usually be in like leathers.
This should stop the space marines.
So they're
A
like
nice leather harness.
they're like the Amish of orcs.
That's a good
Yeah.
comparison. Yeah.
If you combine them with like a more like tribal sensibility than like Puritan.
Even more tribal than that.
Yeah,
Goodness.
So, because they don't like technology, they don't use stuff like trucks or war bikes, tanks, any of that stuff. Instead,
Squigs.
they're the best at breeding the other orcoids.
Yes!
So they have the best squigs, and they have the best Gretchen. Gretchen from snake bites tend to be more ferocious and like actually kind of courageous. So other orcs will like buy them from them, and then the same with squigs. They make the biggest, meanest squigs. So if you want like a squiggoth or whatever to march into battle.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah, good boy.
You go to the snake bites, which they're called snake bites because very early on, it's like part of their like clan ritual is they get like the most venomous snakes in like the galaxy or whatever, and they just let them bite them.
Holy shit!
So they're like particularly like resistant to like poisons and shit because of that.
I don't know why I thought it'd be very funny if like they like the snake bites them and they're like, so what does this prove? And then they turn and they say, well, the Yumis and the blue ones and all the others, when the snake bites them, they die. So this makes us tougher.
That'd do.
Why did they die? I don't know. It doesn't do anything to bite. It's just two little holes. Like the poison doesn't affect them at all. They don't even know that they're poisonous.
I love that.
They're just... It's weird. It's such a tiny bite.
So that's pretty much snake bites in a nutshell. And then the thing where people,
the Beast Masters,
they exaggerate how much they refuse to use technology. Like they'll still use a gun,
or shoot it, right? Yeah.
Or it's like it's not like they'll refuse to get on or assign their mechs to build starships. Like no, like of course
they have to. Yeah.
You need those, but it's like wherever they don't have to. They'll use a more, air quotes, natural approach.
Okay, you can build this starship, but compromise with my snakebite sensibilities. The engine room has to be mostly powered by a squig on a treadmill. It can be a lot of squigs, it can be a really big squig, but there's gotta be a couple of them in there.
It's important.
That's another thing. Say like your squig mount loses a limb or something. Well, you wouldn't be opposed to just putting a bionic on there. Like, that's my best squick.
Yeah, prosthetic leg. Yeah, he's a good boy.
So he can't grow it back.
The Squigosaur model, I think, has a robot leg.
The squigs are like the Squigosaur and stuff. Like they're pretty much just like the giant Pac-Man with chicken legs, right?
Yeah.
Or T-Rex legs, depending on.
Yeah, they have some big haunches.
Yeah. Big old legs, no hands.
Yeah, it's just basically a giant mouth on legs. Yeah.
And
a lot of teeth.
So the last one, which isn't really a clan, which is the Freebooters, we kind of already went over that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're mercenaries, usually raiders, and the dumbest. There's no explanation for it, or at least none that I've seen. Is instead of the usual orc, like guttural Cockney-ish kind of accent, they have a pirate accent.
Yarr!
Yes. There's a Captain Black Flag is in Dawn of War 2. Excellent. Dawn of War 2, excellent character.
And that's a unique thing to freebooters is they don't call him war boss or boss. They also call him boss, but he's the captain.
Right.
I
calls him boss when he's being bossy, but all the time he's the captain.
Yeah, so a freebooter captain is like the equivalent of a war boss, basically.
Now, do they still use orky words like gits and things?
Yeah.
Because it's like, Yarr, avast ye gits!
Yeah, pretty much. Which, how did that happen? It's just a meme, I guess. I've never seen an explanation for what. Like, do they just start doing it when they leave?
Is what? Do you hate fun?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's just it doesn't make much sense. But
I love it. I love. They're just LARPing now.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's another friggin' clan.
I believe in the clan. I'm going freebooting. Why are you talking like that? I told you, I believe in the clan.
Yeah.
How could you do this to us?
Or maybe that's why they make them leave.
Yeah!
Why are you talking like that? Like,
get out of here!
I never thought of
We're
that.
tired of your ass.
Speak Orky! I be doing me best. You's not trying hard enough.
There's only one orc speech impediment, and it's pirate talk.
I think it's cute.
So that's all the clans, the major ones. So next is, so it sounds really weird, right? Orcs, you could argue, are the most religious species.
That's a pretty tall order, given that there's entire, like, the Imperium is the God Emperor is in charge.
A lot of Imperials are skeptics. They're like, yeah, whatever, man, he's the Emperor. Sure, he's big man in charge. But is he really God?
Corrupted by chaos.
Yeah, or corrupted by chaos.
Well, they're even more religious. People who are corrupted by chaos.
I would say.
Yeah. But if you're an orc, you don't have those problems.
No.
Why? Because you got your own gods. That's Gork and Mork, baby.
Yes.
And Kevin basically touched on this before. So, in Orc society, Gork and Mork, all orcs except these are our gods. They do exist. We know this. And it's generally accepted that, so Gork is said to be brutal but cunning, and Mork is said to be cunning but brutal. There's a
difference.
There's a distinction between the two. And orcs are very, very adamant about this to the point where, like, because something that happens is they'll argue about which is which.
Right. Who's supposed
and
to be
then so sometimes, like, entire wars are fought over this. Like, it doesn't happen that often. Generally, it's accepted
about the
way I just said it. But sometimes they'll argue that, like, no, Mork is the one who's brutal but cunning, and Gork is cunning but brutal, and then like they just go back and suddenly they're in a fucking war.
But you see, his brutality is how he be cunning, and the other guy is like, but through his cunning, he's being brutal. You don't understand.
Which that's fucking slinging philosophy for orcs.
Yeah, that's important.
And so what do those descriptions mean?
The picture of Aristotle and Plato walking side by side.
I was just thinking that.
What do those descriptions mean? Basically, Gork will just come up and bash you in your face, whereas Mork, he's going to wait for you to turn around. Then he's going to sneak up on you and bash you in the back of the head.
I mean, they're both pretty brutal.
Yeah, so this is just accepted by every orc, and so much of their society is excuse me, based around the gods.
Right.
So basically they think the gods are responsible for everything, and then like one of the reasons they don't fear death is because they believe when they die they go back to Gork and Mork, who suck them up, and then they vomit them back into reality in a new body somewhere.
Oh, so they're like a reincarnation species.
Mm-hmm. And this appears to be true. I can get into that later. But that's why
they're
orcs...
right?
Yeah.
Orcs have no fear of death.
They have real Valhalla.
Because, they're not worried about it.
They don't die then. If you come back, then that's not what dying is. So they essentially will never die.
Yeah.
Until their gods do, I guess.
They reset. They go back to square one.
Yeah.
They were big, and now they're small, and now they're like, oh, shucks, and now I gotta get big again. We touched on this in a previous episode.
Right.
Yeah.
I have no memories.
Yeah. He has a condition.
I have a terrible condition.
It'd be like that.
And so every orc knows in his heart that Gork and Mork are the strongest. They laugh in the face of other gods.
Yeah, they do.
Like, those other gods are pussies. And
we's pretty sure they're also real pussies.
And the only reason Gork and Mork haven't taken them out yet is because they're too busy fighting each other.
Of course.
Of course.
Because
it's the perfect explanation.
They are each other's only worthy opponent.
Of course.
From an orc perspective.
Although
sometimes they'll stop fighting and then turn their attention on a single thing, and then crazy shit happens.
That's when like orc chosen ones start to appear.
Yeah. My favorite description I saw of Gork and Mork was in a some forum or something, and a guy said, like, you can think of Gork and Mork as God damn it. Excuse me. As a cartoon cloud of fists and feet coming out, and they just happen. Like, they're just going through the warp. They're not paying attention to anything around them. They're just beating the shit out of each other. And then, like, and then one day suddenly they just happen to burst through the wall in Korn's house, and he's like, what the fuck? And then just gets sucked into the cloud.
Oh no!
Until it just spits him out, and they just keep going. And that's like my favorite description, because it's just then after that Korn has to just be like, it's not worth it. Like, just let it go, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Poor guy. Do be like that.
And and speaking of chaos, because orcs are so religious and just
locked into their
yeah,
religion too. Yeah,
just believe this to be 100% true.
They know it's true.
Yeah, you can't convince me otherwise. And because they don't draw from the warp, they produce their own psychic energy. Chaos has next to no influence over them.
Damn. I remember I was asking previously about wouldn't Korn love these guys? And yeah, if they cared about Korn.
Yeah.
But they don't devote anything to him.
Yeah, everything's to Gork and Mork.
And yeah, so it's they are pretty much immune to the point where one of my favorite little details is in I think it's called Brutal Cunning, the book, where it's the perspective of a demon engine that's been, demon engine is a demon that's bound to like a big robot body basically, and it becomes like a arcane mech robot thing. So there's one of these guys. It's horrible, terrible, whatever. But orcs are like swarming this forge world. It sees the orcs. It doesn't call them orcs though. It calls them the abhorrents. Because it sees them, he's just like, fuck.
Yeah, they're
God
horrible.
damn.
Yeah, it's just I get nothing from this.
Terribly.
Like, and
I don't get to eat any souls. I don't get to have any love from the bloodshed being done.
Yeah, and when it runs at them, the orcs all turn and go, hell yeah, and charge at it.
We loves fighting yous. And,
Yeah,
and
like-
he's like, I don't want to fight you at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is hell. This is what hell is.
The demon wants you to flee and panic from it, so it can suck up all your negative emotions, and
Yeah.
the orcs are just like, fuck yeah, brother, and charge right in.
Can't feed on your celebration.
And they actually start to get the upper hand a little bit because it's like ants. Like they literally just start swarming on it, and then it's getting really annoyed until a tank buster, who's an orc anti-tank specialist, excuse me, rolls up with a tank buster hammer, which is a stick with a missile on it.
That's exactly what I was picturing. So it looks like a sledgehammer, but with a missile on. Yeah. The
best weapon. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear.
Yeah, he runs up and wha-bam! And then
Yeah, he does.
the demon engine is just like, ow! Like, he's like, you know what? No, I'm done. And he just shakes them off and just leaves.
It's not worth it. I'm going home.
That's how annoying orcs are for demons. It's just, they're just the worst.
And you
they're
know that as he shook them
like
all off,
cockroaches to demons.
as he
fire
shook them
ants.
all off, they're thinking oh, the fight's still going. And then as he turns to walk away, all of them at the same time go, oh, come on, don't take your ball and go home.
That's funny.
And so it's pretty much orc religion. There isn't much there's no ritual or anything to it, It's just whatever.
I mean, they
The
built
ritual-
wall banners and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
The ritual is all of their culture, really,
Yeah.
because
yeah.
all of this is so ingrained in them.
Well, so they don't. They do stuff to build effigies, basically. So
Yes.
every orc mech, like any walking a Gargant Titan thing.
Yeah.
Those are all built in the image, air quotes, of Gork and Mork.
right.
That is so orcs have a living idol they can follow into battle.
There's a lot of Evangelion lore in the orcs.
That's awesome.
And yeah, that's. I don't think there's really anything else about religion. So next, the orcs themselves. So orcs get broken down into a bunch of roles.
Yeah.
They
We
each
talked
have.
about a couple of them already.
Yeah, so they so everyone, all of them have their clan,
Yeah.
and then they usually belong to a greater tribe. But then even within that, you have your role, which is also genetic.
Right.
So
You grow into what you're supposed to be.
Yeah, so you're the most basic. They call themselves the boys, and that's just your average orc.
The boys who crump, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, the boys who crumb.
just your average foot soldier guy. Give him a slugger, give him a shooter, give him a big old choppa sword, whatever.
Give them an object of violence and turn them in a direction, and they know exactly what
They're
to
in their element.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
them go. Wow.
So, by and large, regular ass, just boy orcs comprise the majority of orcs. They're just the regular foot soldiers. From there, they can advance into a knob, which is just a bigger, meaner orc.
Right. Those are the boys who are in charge of the boys.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I got into that. It's short for noble.
Really?
Yeah.
You mentioned it in a previous episode, but not in the series. Yeah, because I asked what it was. Grimtones, Jesse had asked if it was like short for like it's slang in the UK for your penis. So he was like, is that related? And he's like, no, it's short for noble. So yeah.
I'm sure that's the joke.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
But
there's definitely a joke.
But
there,
it is short for noble.
I just assumed that the joke was penis. But also everyone just assumed that, like, yes, that's a bigger kind of boy just because it's like, that's like a dumb sound, right?
Yeah.
He's a knob. Sounds correct.
Knob sounds like a big brute.
Yeah. And a penis.
Yeah.
So you got, so there's a bunch of different ones they can fall into. So your boy is just your regular soldier. Two of the most important roles is mech boys and pain boys. So a mech boy is an engineer, essentially.
Now, we had mentioned in the previous episode, Kevin asked, how the fuck do orcs get off of world when they don't have any technology? Yeah. How does that make any goddamn sense? And now we can finally go into how that makes any goddamn sense.
So, when I say their role is like genetic, everything about that, like, so a mech boy has hardwired into him knowledge of like science and engineering and physics. So like as he gets older and gets bigger, more knowledge is unlocked, like just from them fiddling around. But it's instinctual. It's not like they don't really consciously like do it all. It's more of
it comes to them. They just
only
sort of have
they
to
understand what they're doing, basically.
Yeah.
Like a lot of mechs, so like they can see what a mech is doing there, but it's all intuition based. All their tech is intuition based.
It's the Rick and Morty. Morty. Sometimes science is more art than science.
Yeah, that's every mech boy.
A lot of people don't get
every
that.
mech boy.
Yeah. Because mech boys, other orcs say it's the mech boys speech, which is when they use like super sophisticated, like concepts or just like
I just said screwdriver, and all of them started calling me a mech boy now.
Yeah, but it's like the constant joke. It's just like they're constantly talking about like super advanced like scientific or engineering principles, and then it always notes that like even they don't really know what they're saying, but they know, like they have a gut feeling, like
that's
like,
right.
That it is correct.
Like this orc could have never heard anything about subatomic particles to like create hyperdrive or whatever.
Right.
And then someone just starts talking about it, and he seems to be confident enough that he knows what he's saying, and like, yeah, I'm going off of that now. And now he understands the concept of subatomic particles to create hyperdrive.
The mech boy just turning around. You see, you have to prevent an ionic decoupling event. What with when the electrons from the zinc particles sort of bond with the surrounding metals because of the nuclear reaction. And they're all like, what? Yeah. And he's just like, because you know zinc. Everyone knows.
Pretty much, yeah. That's how that goes. So by doing this, like once enough orcs have gathered, they'll have numbers and enough, you can argue it's because of the psychic energy. Maybe not, but I like to think it plays a part. But once enough orcs have massed and mechs have reached a certain level, they'll begin to cooperate on like larger projects. And then so that's how you start to get like vehicles, the Gargants, the Titans that they make, and then like eventually starships. Which one of the things, so they in particular though, their technology, orcs are really good at two things, and that is teleporters and force fields.
I don't understand why those would be the things they'd be good at.
No, it's to my understanding that the Imperial tech of like teleporting the Terminators onto the battlefield, that was co-opted from the Orks. Is that correct?
What?
I don't think
Or they had it.
They still had it
as well.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
The Orks could do some teleportation shenanigans the Imperium could not do.
So, Orks do it in like a very similar way, but with just way less like security measures. So, because they're just tougher, like they don't fucking care. Like there's one scene I can remember from the War of the Beast series where a group of, I think it's Imperial Fists or some kind of Space Marines, they use an Ork teleportation thing to leave, and then when they like rematerialize or whatever, the person's perspective you're from, the Marine, he's just like Gork! Ah! Like he like blood is coming out of his eyes,
blood, yeah.
and he's just like, that was the most rough teleport transition I've ever felt.
What are you talking about? We barely turned inside out.
And yeah, so it's like apparently theirs is more versatile, but it's like it's rough.
Oh man!
But Orks, they just don't care. Like so in general, that's Mech Boys. They make all the stuff. They don't know how they do it, but they do it. And then the other one I mentioned, Pain Boys. Pain Boys, same thing, but instead of like engineering and like science, instead they're interested in medicine and like biology.
That is not where I thought they were going to go. I thought they were going to be the weapons developers.
Pain Boys? Oh, no.
Because Pain. That was my thinking. But Pain Boys being their surgeons is mwah, chef's kiss.
And they can do some wacky shit because Orks are just so durable.
Now, this will only hurt for a second. But it's really going to hurt.
So, like, Ork tissue has, like, a near 0% chance of rejection rate. This is noted specifically in a codex.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It was like a 0.0000002 chance of rejection.
Goodness.
So Orks, you can just stitch them together, like take parts from wherever. It doesn't matter. It'll work.
That makes sense because that's why, like, so many of the knobs and like the bigger Orks are all just like Frankenstein's at a certain point because they're just literally just cobbled together from remains because like your entire squad of boys got blown up in the truck, but you're still here. We was talking about Uftek. Blackhawk.
Yeah.
He just got grafted onto a knob's body.
Yeah, he got a body transplant.
If it's mean and green, it grafts on clean.
Yeah, easy mode, easy fucking money.
So yeah, they can do crazy stuff. Orks tend to not like them though, because
they're into chopping people up and sewing them all together. Yeah, I can imagine that guy not being very popular.
Not in a fun way though.
Right.
That's why they're mad about it.
Right. I wanted him to give me a second littler arm under my first arm so I could punch gits while I was grabbing him. All he did was I'm now an Ork centipede.
So, pretty much, yeah. So a lot of Orks don't trust them. One, that they can actually do the surgery, that they have enough knowledge.
Right.
And then two, that they won't just like do something else.
Turn you into the spider from Dune.
Yeah. Like specifically in like codexes and stuff, it'd just be like Orks are like really wary because sometimes you come in to get like a replacement arm, and then when you wake up, now you have his experimental Model 6 rocket arm, like just like just a missile attached like to your shoulder. So yeah, it's really hit or miss.
But it don't detach. No, of course not. It's supposed to so your arm hits harder. But if it don't detach, ain't I just gonna go flying? Well, I don't know. You might.
We'll have to find out.
So yeah, they can do absolutely insane stuff. But that is in general what a pain boy is. Just an Ork doctor. And if you're a particularly like notorious pain boy, you're a mad doc. So the most famous being Mad Doc Rotsnick.
Right.
Who was known for being particularly Mad Doc.
I mean, we talked about him, I think, in a previous thing where he like very much pulled the bait and switch of like, all right, press this button and we might be able to bring the boss back. And then like under his breath, or to blow up the whole planet. And then just like throw the lever! Like
so we got other kinds of like more specialist Orks too for like combat and stuff.
Right.
So the ones that are like make all the stuff generally, or like a weird boy, they call them odd boys.
Odd boys.
Because they have like weird habits, and you know like the mech boys, they love fiddling with those machines and shit. Like a regular Ork couldn't wrap their head around that. Like they have no interest.
Yeah, you hand them something that like has a little spinny function on it. They don't like try to figure out ball bearings. They just hit you with it.
But other like they're the more like regular, just all they do is fight kind of orcs.
Yeah.
They do have some specializations. I'm not gonna list every kind of subtype of orc.
I imagine there's hundreds in those codex.
Yeah.
There's a lot. But so the orc Tony mentioned it earlier, Burner Boys. So Burner Boys are obsessed with fire. They are just orc arsonists. They are absolutely just love to burn anything and everything.
They'll just blowtorch your ass.
They have a flamethrower and a tank of promethium on their back. Promethium being like
Space Nathan.
rocket fuel.
Oh.
Although, like every race uses it basically. It's
right.
It's sort of like a.
That's how you
thing.
travel in space now. That's the 41st millennium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they typically wear like welding masks and shit, and then they also really like you'll see it in the models sometimes. They have fungus cigars. It's like to smoke too.
They have fungus cigars.
Yeah, so they can burn while they burn one, you know.
So let me tell you how.
For virtually everything, there's a mushroom equivalent in orc.
I'm imagining
society.
a sort of like very thin stalked but very tall mushroom with like a sort of small but still like a mushroom cap head, and then you pluck it, and then you bite off the mushroom cap part like you're cutting the end off of a cigar.
Yeah.
And then that's what they're smoking.
I love this.
I've never seen a description of how they do it, but I've seen plenty of fungus cigar being in the text. That's just like a little detail. They're pyromaniacs, so other orcs tend to give them a lot of space when they get deployed, because they probably wouldn't be upset about burning you.
Yeah.
No.
Like, you know,
They get carried away.
even if you're on the same side, like they don't really give a shit.
I feel like every orc knows inherently if I accidentally get one of my own boys, they won't really be mad at me. We're in a war, and that's a lot of fun. And we all just go back to Gork and Mork, and that has to extend to these burner boys. However, the burner boys, when they burn you, it hurts so much worse than getting shot.
That's like the worst way to go. That's one of them.
But so, because they're known for that, like just going a little too crazy with the fire, pretty much every time, like a war boss or bigger orcs will beat them into shape and like make them like adjust a little bit. And to do like one of the things they do to do that, so they don't when they get to close combat, they don't just start burning everybody, including their side. Is their flamethrowers have adjustable valves and nozzles to concentrate the flame into basically an energy beam. It's so hot it becomes like a las cutter, and they'll use that in close combat as like a power weapon.
Yep, super sick. It's like a flame spear.
Does it look like it's a blowtorch?
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
Like a spear that has like a blowtorch flame on it. And that sucks so hard.
Yeah, imagine that running at you. Imagine a truck runs up to your position, you're a guardsman with your las gun, and you're like, for the emperor, whatever. Protect the world from orcs, hooray. We got it, guys. Oh god, they're coming. And a truck just comes barreling down the road. You start shooting at it. Your bullets are having devastating effect. It's falling apart. But it was already falling apart to begin with. It just keeps coming. This rickety-ass fucking truck. And then a bunch of fucking dudes with blowtorch spears just start charging you.
Like, I've had the thought, the blowtorch over at Rob's propane torch?
Yeah.
I've had the thought a time and again, anytime I think about it, really, I think about, like, if somebody was robbing me with a knife, I know that, like, that'd be bad. But, like, conceivably, in perfect Jason Statham Kevin world,
Yeah.
I could do something about. I can't really, obviously, but I could.
Yeah.
But if a guy had like a torch,
blowtorch, yeah, you can't handle.
Here's
plasma.
my money. Here's my money.
Yeah.
Parry what?
Yeah, parry what? Like control
The fire?
what?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't even have to touch you. It just be near you for it to
Yeah.
hurt. Like, and you combust, and now you're just on fire. Then he just runs, and maybe the thing even explodes. Fuck that, dude! I ain't playing with that shit. No, dude, you take my money. Bye.
They don't want your money. They want to burn you.
Oh no.
So because of this, to keep them preoccupied,
Yeah.
they're often employed by spanas, which are just like a mech that's not a mech yet,
Right.
like a little baby mech.
An apprentice.
Yeah, pretty much. And just mechs to cut metal for them. Like, so all the scrap and stuff, like they get burner boys to come and cut it with their flamethrowers. One, because it's useful, and two, to keep them distracted.
All right, so let me run something by you that I think this is similar to. So there's a manga series, Kenichi, World's Greatest Disciple.
Yes.
And one of the villains is a guy who had a sword made by a sword maker, and the sword was so perfect that cutting people with it became like the only thing he wanted to ever do. The sensation of it, because of how good the sword was, made him only want to cut people. That's all that he ever wanted. And then that sword maker created an even more perfect blade. And that guy like immediately went to go kill the sword maker and take the blade. But as he took the blade, it's not a sword. It's like I think this one was like a sickle for like cutting grass. And then like he was like, but no, but how? And then he cuts grass with it, and he's like, this is the only thing I care about now. I care about cutting grass. And I feel like the Burner Boys are like, oh, you want me to use my fire on that? I love using my fire on that. It's the only thing I care about.
You mean I can get teeth to cut that with my fire? Yeah, buddy.
Instead of yelled at like regular.
Yeah. So that's pretty much Burner Boys. Also, they'll chug Prometheum.
That's probably
metal.
super healthy.
For funsies.
I remember Gizgul drank vodka, and it was Prometheum, and I was wondering what the fuck is he talking about. But there you go.
Yeah, so that's Burner Boys. And then I talked about Tank Busters. They're an anti-tank unit. They're orcs that become obsessed with blowing up heavy vehicle units. So they
hunt them.
They just get addicted to it.
They hunt them.
That's about it.
Various ways.
They use rockets mostly. They'll use that rocket hammer, the tank buster hammer.
Classic.
They are tank buster bombs.
Don't forget about the bomb squig.
Or bomb squigs, which is just a squig with a bunch of bomb stuff in its mouth, and then they send it off.
In my head, it was like a black squig that has like a shitty little piece
Like a
of
bomb.
like a bomb.
Yeah, it's awesome.
No, they just feed it like a bunch of dynamite and send him on his
and
way.
then I'm thinking of that, and then it's like what an actual bomb squig is, and it's like any squig is a bomb squig.
Yep.
You supply the bomb.
Yep.
You just
Yep.
eat this.
They were in the original Space Marine game. They were a constant hazard because the little bomb squig would come out, and you had to shoot it before it got to you.
And then they also have their own special, like, I guess, grenades or like explosive charges, tank buster bombs, which are like, it's like a plate that has like a handle on it, and they just slap it on the side of tanks because it's magnetic.
Oh.
And then it's just like, prime, boom, they really go off.
Yep.
Either way, though, they have this tradition for new tank busters when they get their first successful kill, or like they take out their first tank. And it's a tradition that involves they kill and eat the entire crew of the vehicle, and then they chug engine oil from its smoking like the remains of its engine.
That's so good.
We drink its oil to gain its courage.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And they call this tradition getting tanked or tanked up.
Hell yes, they
tanked. Yes, sir.
We getting tanked with the new boy.
Already talked about
That's so
Storm
good.
Boys a little bit. So they're shock troopers. The other thing that's weird about Storm Boys is they value, or try to value, and are bad at it, discipline. So they try to actually act like a military.
Now, there was like a Storm Boy captain guy who was like a commissar. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is this ringing any bells?
Did he have a commissar hat?
He had a commissar hat and robot vulture legs.
Yeah, with the vulture, yeah.
Yeah, he's so fucking cool.
I don't know anything about this vulture legs, but I was having a lot of fun imagining.
I don't remember his name.
I don't think his model's supported right now.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. But I forgot his name. I don't remember what it was.
An orc dressed as a commissar.
Yeah, it's so he can rocket at you and go caw, and then
vulture your ass.
Sure,
attack you with his talons.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Yeah, so the Storm Boys, like they'll like polish their boots and try to like wear uniforms, and like they'll try to run drills. They use military jargon a lot in the same way as like blood axes, stuff like that. But the weird thing about Storm Boys, and any other position an orc can take, I haven't seen this, is Storm Boy is the only like orc job or whatever you want to call it that they can grow out of. A lot of orcs refer to being a Storm Boy as a phase.
Huh.
Like in my younger days, I was a Storm Boy, but I grew out of it.
I could see that being like a boy just becoming a storm boy almost instantly. Like someone just straps a rocket to his back, and I was like, "All right, go for it, man."
I mean, the Storm Boys are mostly the guys who are like born like bigger and meaner.
The Goths, yeah. They have the
So
most.
I feel like it makes sense that like most of the other jobs, I feel like take at least the orc equivalent of years to like find your way in, which is shorter, I imagine, than years. But like, whereas Storm Boy, it's like, but do yous want to get in there and crump? And they're like, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, and they just strap a rocket to your back and say, "Go at it, man. Have at it, bro."
And then you get it out of your system, and then you start to think about how cool that engine or that tank is, and how much you want to blow it up and drink its oil.
Fun scene in Space Marine 1. You're flying with the guardsmen and their Valkyries. They're like little gunships to your whatever little missions that you're going to, and you're being attacked by the Orks. And a bunch of Storm Boys are just flying next to your gunship, just trying to fight you with their choppers. They are fighting the Valkyries with swords. Because that is just, that's just on the menu there. That's on the menu for them. They're allowed to do that. Because they're Orks.
And then, I think I mentioned Flash Gits. Flash Gits are the richest of orcs. So they spend all their money to be flashy and gaudy.
They're truly my favorite.
Yeah, other orcs just find them really annoying. And they one of their things is because they have the most money, they get like custom weapons made.
Right.
And they're known for snaz guns.
The big snaz.
Because
and it's called
snazzy is like considered, like, oh, that looks good, like that's like orc talk, whatever. But that's what they're known for. But they usually get kicked out because they're just fucking annoying.
Yeah.
A lot of freebooters.
And then a lot of them are freebooters.
You's just using whatever the mech boys and do ya, huh?
And then like, what's a snaz gun? They're all custom, so
right.
There's no
a snaz gun means a good gun.
Answer.
Yeah,
it's a snazzy gun.
Yeah.
And then there's the last two like really important roles. One is the runt herd, that's the orc who wrangles all the snotlings, all the squigs, and the Gretchen.
Right.
And they whip them into shape, and they're just good at this. Snake bites are the best at it. They have the best runt herds, and they're pretty much taskmasters. Like they make sure they bully the grots to like make sure they're doing work and making the other smaller things do work too.
I mean, they're a super species, so this makes sense.
Yeah, and then they're also function to gather up all the Gretchen and then whip them to send them at the boys first to get the enemy properly warmed up.
Get them warmed up!
Yeah, that's how they view it. So
that's why we send
the boys can have a good fight. Like
that's an excellent.
Yeah, we don't want a cold enemy to fight. We gotta warm them up with the grots. And then the other weird thing about them is,
do the grots get to go to heaven?
They're part of it, yeah, but they're less important. They're also storytellers, which is really weird.
Oh.
This seems to be genetic. They have some sort of like knack for just talking about like orc legends and shit.
Yeah, run Herb will sit by the fire and just tell the boys a story.
And tell the boys the story of the Brain Boys, the legendary creators race of the Orks. Presumed to be the old ones, who also made the Eldar, but that's never stated.
Right.
So it could be someone else. There's a weird one with that, but that's old lore. But anyway, that's just one of the things. They like telling stories around the campfire, and they're taskmasters. And the last one is Weird Boys.
Yeah.
So Weird Boys are Ork Psychers, which work very differently than other races Psychers, because every orc produces a little bit of psychic energy, Weird Boys are the ones who can tap into it. But handoff is they're usually really bad at it. Like they have a hard time staying alive because the more orcs around them, the greater the charge of warp energy builds up.
Right.
And then it has to like go somewhere. So they tend to not live long enough to get good at using their powers.
An old weird boy means that he is truly dangerous.
Yes, and probably a little crazy. Because a weird boy, what tends to happen if they lose control of their power, they can't vent it. Like they usually just shoot like a blast or something out of their. One of their things is their jaw distends, and they can shoot like a gout of green fire out of it.
They do a fire in my laser.
Yeah. Does
anyone else remember that meme from 20 years ago?
Oh man,
nope.
He's old.
But if they can't control the energy, it builds up in their head until it explodes.
It pops.
And sometimes other orcs too.
Well, that makes sense.
So orcs are like, you live on the fringe, and so they're kept in like special huts and have like minders usually.
Right.
And they wear like they literally have to like wear bells and shit so everyone knows they're coming. It's like a whole thing. But if a Weirdborg can live long enough and get good at using his powers, they're actually like pretty fucking crazy.
Right, because they get to
strong.
use the psychic powers that aren't tainted by demons.
So yeah. And if like a bigger version of a weird boy, they call him a warped, and they're weird boys who have become addicted to the sensation of the warp energy building in their fucking skull until like it's at like the very edge, like my brain's about to explode, and then they blow their load, like, and they love it. They love it.
Eyes can tell me Ed's about to go. He's as like a trickle of green blood starts to go down his nose.
It's the equivalent of autoerotics.
Yeah, so they will continuously like ride that wave.
I'm almost dead.
Yeah, on the edge until like either they just keep doing it or their head explodes.
That's fucking crazy.
And yeah, their powers are really like woo all over the place. Kind of just depends on what.
It's space magic.
Yeah, what a writer wants them to do. And that's like the most important ones in pretty much all of Ork Society. And then I think all we have left is technology, which is a big one.
Right.
All right. Well, that'll end tonight's episode. We'll get to technology in our next part. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed the nature of this podcast, go and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. You can go and give us a follow on Blue Sky, and you can support us on our Patreon. With that, have a good night.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.